I have been waiting weeks for this interview to be able to meet with Mac Mama, Marina, McIntosh, Eminem, all the names that we had her when she was working like an absolute boss lady way back when she had her cut through college experience. So just to kind of start everybody, just so you guys know a little bit of little Marina, she'll give her bio a little bit as well. But Marina graduated with a Bachelor of Architectural degree from Carnegie Mellon back in 2018. She's been working at an architecture firm in Boston for the last 2.5 years. By the way, when she graduated, had over 8 architectural firms competing for her services. She worked with Vector when she started as right after her senior year of high school up in New Hampshire, and helped us build the Connecticut division way back in 2015. And ended her experience as a branch manager, ended up being one of the top in the entire region before she went out and started living her dream job. She was the #1 sales rep in New England back in the summer of 2014. There was a pilot sales manager for the Fairfield County office for the first 3 summers in existence, and led to having best summers back-to-back years, and has interviewed, hired, and trained hundreds of people during her time with Vector. So a little bit of your style, that's a little bit of my words from you, Marina, but anything else that you want to add to that at all?
No, nothing specifically, just up in New Hampshire now, obviously. And I've wanted to be an architect since I was 10 years old. So prior to working at Vector, I didn't have too much experience, but it definitely helped me get to where I am today.
Totally. And just so everybody knows, like Marina and I have a really good relationship. She's like a little sister to me. Like her and one of our friends, David Scarpetti, when we all started up the Southern New England division, we all had this apartment together for like 4 months at the beginning of the summer while Marina was just here in Connecticut for her summer break, and really just developed an amazing relationship with Marina. Again, I'm so appreciative of being able to take time in your busy schedule to do this. So to kind of start up and kind of dig into that amazing brain of yours, how do you think working with Vector helped prepare you for your future as an architect?
Yeah, so I think, like I said, I've wanted to be an architect since I was 10 years old, and school, the 5-year Bachelor of Architecture degree at Carnegie Mellon, gave me that technical experience, and obviously I was able to meet people from all around the world there. But the biggest things that I got from Vector in general that really helped me were the communication skills that I gained, not only through presentations with customers, but also communicating with coworkers, as a manager, communicating with people on the team. And it really helped me develop those skills in talking to a lot of different types of people. So now, whether it's a Facebook Live or talking to hundreds of people in a conference room, hopefully that can happen again someday soon, I'm very comfortable doing that type of thing now. Aside from just the communication skills, it also really helped me with my time management. I was always pretty good at it. As an architecture major and in the world of architecture, you usually have a lot of different things, a lot of different projects that you have to manage and balance. So after working with Vector and having to set up my own presentations and manage my own schedule, the work wasn't necessarily easier, but at least setting it up and knowing how to do everything, so much better.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen a lot of your Snapchats where you're in labs till like 2 or 3 a.m. It's like, what are you doing? Like, just the amount of work that you had. And something that I see often too many times as a manager, Marina, is that students want to think they're too busy and they want to take things off of their plate. But it seems like you were one of those people that you just learned how to make your plate bigger. And do you think that's been able to help you in your career now?
100%. We have a combination of projects right now in my career where some people are working on one project for a long period of time. I'm someone who's now taken on upwards of, at any time during the week, I've got 20 different projects going on, but being able to write those things down, keep them in order. And I don't think it should be an issue for someone thinking you have too much going on. Maybe you do, but if you're realistic and write those things down, it's much more easier to manage and think about.
Totally, definitely. And obviously, Marina, we're kind of talking about you were an architecture major, and this is a marketing job. Like, why did you start a business marketing job knowing that you wanted to be an architect later in life?
I truly believe that any of the skills that you can gain from Vector from a business and marketing job standpoint are able to help anyone in any field, regardless of what they want to do. So through architecture school and everything, we were all learning the same software, the same technical skills, but in a lot of different fields, regardless of whether it's business related or not, you have to communicate with people. You have to be comfortable sharing your ideas and selling your ideas. So when I talk to clients now and I'm explaining something to them, a lot of that communication one-on-one or in a group is from the experience I got with Vector. I really think it set me apart from a lot of other people in my field as well, being able to get some of that business experience, that sales experience. When I was applying for my architecture jobs, a lot of people had the same types of portfolio work as I did in a creative field. as a 23-year-old, not a lot of people applying to those jobs have the same type of resume of business experience. So I think that really helped from that standpoint.
Yeah, and give everybody kind of some clarification. Like, Marina had a really impressive resume coming out of college. I mean, she ran 3 pilot offices for a summer. I think you guys probably averaged between $700 and $1 million in sales every summer. When she was running her own branch office her last summer working here, what did you do that summer just with your team, Marina?
Honestly, I forget. I think we'll say it was really good.
I think it was well over $200,000 in sales, which was above the average, and doing that right up from the safety and be able to do that right from your hometown as well, right up in New Hampshire, where we're both kind of residents of good old New Hampshire, representing here. Not too many of those anymore, but being able to build that with something like you from obviously same day. We didn't really know each other too well when we first met, but it's really cool how we gelled really quickly. I mean, obviously you're a great friend of the family and everything as well, and been at many of June and I's fun events that we've had in the past. Yeah. And then another question I can ask you here, Marina, is, I know you kind of laughed at me a little bit this when we were doing the prep for this earlier, but like, how did you feel coming out of college compared to a lot of the other people in your peer group looking for jobs? Because I remember when I came out of college, I graduated a couple of years right after the 2008 recession, where a lot of my friends were freaking out and they didn't know what to do for a job. And I was like, I already have a job locked up 3 months before like graduation even happened. So, I mean, like, tell a little bit of that story.
Yeah, and I'll give some background too, in that in my time with Vector, it was kind of in the back of my mind, like, okay, I have this job, my experience with Vector has been amazing. And I'd struggle sometimes because I think, okay, now it's time to get into the field of architecture. I've wanted to do it for so long. Okay, now it's time to get into it. And I'm so glad I stayed with Vector for so long for a number of reasons. But the biggest thing, and I think that really set me apart from others coming out of college, was, like I said, the experience I had, and I just felt more well-rounded than a lot of other people that I was competing with for jobs. So as you mentioned previously, when I graduated from school for that summer, I worked as a branch manager, obviously, and regardless of the experience, that just helped me save up a lot more money than I already had before going into the field of architecture. At the end of being a branch manager that summer, with the money that I'd saved up and everything, eventually I started looking for some architecture positions. I knew that I wanted to be in the Boston area because love Boston. I knew that's where I wanted to be. Good firms there. I applied to a bunch of them. I had 8 offers from a bunch of different firms. At the end of the day, one of the biggest things for me was I took the job that I currently have because it was just my boss as one person, and I was the second person he ever hired. So it was kind of like a startup at that point. And I knew that with my experience from Vector and Cutco, I can help grow a business. I can help build a business. So with that, now we've been able to grow as a company over the past 2.5 years. And we started with just the 2 of us back in 2018. And now there's 12 of us. And We're in Chicago, Boston, and everything like that. So there's absolutely no way I would have gotten that job had I not worked with Vector. My boss told me straight up last year that, you had a great portfolio and a great resume and stuff, but the sales experience that you had with Vector kind of set you apart from everyone else. And most of my interview wasn't even spent talking about architecture. It was talking about Vector and what that experience was.
Yeah. And what do you think? So kind of talking a little bit about your branch experience. So obviously you learned some great time management skills and communication skills as a representative. But what were some of those like management and leadership type of skills that you gained as a branch manager? So you obviously learned how to scale a business, starting with one of our mentors, Mr. Freeman, and you're obviously doing that right now in your business. But what about when you were by yourself and you had your own little show?
Yeah, when I was by myself, obviously I'd had some experience as a pilot sales manager before then, but it was a little more nerve-wracking as a branch manager because it's just you. Going into it though, obviously very comfortably set up with all of the training and stuff that we'd done beforehand to prepare. I think the biggest things in running the own show was that it's me. I need to make sure that I'm on my A game for everyone else, leading by example and that type of thing. Because if I'm not ready to go, no one else is ready to go. With that too, I know we've already touched on time management a ton, but just starting my day off and writing down exactly what has to get done, interviews, trainings, doing PDI with different people on the team and that type of stuff, super important to have that all down and really clear. The other big thing too about being a branch manager was just being able to set goals really effectively, which might sound kind of cliche and cheesy to set goals, but actually setting tangible goals, understanding like how much, when, where, that type of thing, as opposed to like I want to sell this much, or I want to hire this many people. You know what I mean? Being able to break those down effectively, I think, was a huge key in being a branch manager.
Awesome. Great answers, Marina. This is very, very insightful stuff. And I'll kind of wrap up with a couple more questions here, not too much longer, but one a fun question. I know you and I have been on multiple trips many, many times, but what would you say was your favorite experience? Maybe it was a trip, and then what was maybe one of the most impactful things that you did as a leader? And I kind of put in your spot there. Didn't really prep you that for too much, but
no, that's okay. I got you. I think one of my favorite experiences in general was the Costa Rica trip that we took. AT being in Costa Rica was sick, and the whole time we're driving through the jungle, and I'm thinking, I'm doing this because of this awesome opportunity I had, because I called a phone number on a piece of paper 4 years prior. You know what I mean? Like, so cool. One of the most impactful experiences I've had as a leader, probably being able to speak to parents at parents' meetings during some of the larger region events that we have. I was someone who, coming into this, my parents didn't really know what it was about. They kind of doubted me, to be honest. They didn't stop me from doing it. So my whole mindset going into it was, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to crush this thing, which I did. And then I like being able to give that back and talk to the parents and kind of handle that end of the business, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Just be able to offer value to other people. I remember that Costa Rica trip. That was, those of you that saw the Facebook post beforehand, that was just me just giving Marina just some big props there, and totally remember that ATV, and that was so much fun. And I remember just you and I, we went to learn how to surf, and then my legs were probably as red as a lobster after that, because the only place we didn't put suntan lotion was our calves. Right. I was beating on those the entire time. And then my last question, as we kind of start to wrap up here, Marina, is, so obviously, you remember the winter break, and we're starting that up, and it's going to be starting up in a couple of weeks for a lot of students. So there's a lot of students right now that, they might not have opportunities for work with COVID going on, or they might be a little nervous about trying to do something virtually, or just trying something new in general. And I know you weren't here when we did a lot of the virtual stuff, but what would you say to the person who is like a little nervous or not sure if they would do well in sales or anything like that? So just some words of advice.
100% go in with an open mind. Do not make any judgments. Do not, give yourself an idea of what this is until you actually experience it and try it. For me, an open mind, taking really good notes, following the program. Biggest tips that I can give someone, super simple. Like I said, my parents weren't really sure what it was. At the time, I was so broke, 18 years old, it was not even funny. So I would have done anything just to get some gas money in the tank, But like I said, go in with an open mind, take really good notes during these trainings, follow everything that Aaron says, because he's a pro, right? And, it's all laid out for you to succeed.
Cool. Well, thank you so much again, Marina. It was really great catching up with you. And as we kind of wrap up, anything that you want to promote, anything that's exciting that's coming up with you that you want to get a shout out there for? Any shameless plugs?
No shameless plugs, really. Follow me on Instagram. You're going to get a lot of architecture content, some project sites. So let me know if you need a house built.
Yeah, Marina's Instagram, by the way, is in the bottom right-hand corner at It's Marina Mac. And obviously, guys, my Instagram is at Aaron Winter Official with 2 R's. And then again, those of you guys that are looking for work, or maybe you can't find a job right now, feel free to check out ctstudentwork.com. We're taking applications. We're going to be starting people right after Christmas. So again, and you guys just learn a little bit from Marina. She's able to gain a lot of great experience, set herself apart from other applicants for graduating for her architectural firm, saving, I'm not going to go over the specifics, but lots and lots of money to be able to pay back some massive student loans and be able to start her life the right way without like $250,000 of debt hanging over her head. So thank you so much, M&M. I appreciate you so much. I love you to death. Hope you and Jacob have an amazing evening. I'll definitely tell June you said hi. So have an amazing day.
Thanks. You too. Bye, Aaron.
Yeah.